brother,
my
you
draft.
make your video, but no way I do, you know what you're doing. That's what I'm saying, fam. It's all good.
Bro, I'm making a video because you
Make a
contradicted
video,
yourself.
but know what you're doing.
Because you contradicted yourself.
I know that I'm not contradicting myself, but I'm
you
all
did. You
for
100%
debate.
contradicted yourself.
Explain.
Because you was the same person that said that men should have emotions and be able to express them, but in the same breath, you said that if men overexpress it, then they're emotional.
Now, check what you just said. This is why I knew that you wouldn't have a leg to... That's why I said I hope you can back it up. Because
Bro,
what if you know...
You said that men should... You said one time when you was on my live, men should be able to express their emotions.
That's right. And I said it in
that same breath,
and I said
saying, an over-emotional man is unattractive.
Now, check what you just said. Listen to what you just said. You just destroyed the... I literally have just won straight away if it's a battle at that. I said in the beginning of my video that it's cool for men to be emotional if they need to feel their emotions and feel them and express them. And I also said that a man shouldn't bottle it up. Then I said overly expressing emotions like, put me
But you can't, no, but let me just say something. You can't put how much emotion someone's, because you don't know what some people are going through. So you can't say, I'm only talking about 5% of emotions, because emotions don't work like that. And a man that's emotional is a man that's emotional.
No, that's not true. Because emotions
listen to me though.
Different.
Listen to what I say though. Listen to my thing. Men shouldn't show emotions to women in general.
Why?
Point blank.
Why?
No, you can't say why, because you are the reason why. You said on your thing it's unattractive and it makes you like look at him in a certain way.
Men that are overly emotional,
but overly emotional. What is overly? When you take away overly,
whinging and moaning like a woman. That's exactly what I mean.
But some men were raised by their mother, so they only know how to moan like women.
Well, I don't like that. There's an imbalance in the household if a mother is raising the child.
Then you diss men that over emotional. Then you diss them.
So hang on a sec. I said overly emotional. This is nothing. What you're basically trying to say is that I'm contradicting myself by saying that
100% you are.
Overly
you can't say two things.
It's not a contradiction.
You can't say, all right, look,
I can say that. I'm talking about what I'm attracted to.
What's your real name? I don't like to call you vibrations because it sounds like a vibrator. What's your real name?
Well, you're going to call me Vibes. Sorry.
Vibes. I knew a young gangster.
That's my name on the
thing. I knew a gangster youth from...
I call you Rare Talks. I don't know your name.
Yeah, but...
My name's Shireen.
All right, cool. Sharice. All right, listen to this, Sharice, yeah? All right, listen to this, Reese. I call you Reese, yeah? That's what everyone calls you.
No, that's not what they call me.
All right, cool. But my whole thing is this. You can't say in one breath, it's all right to show emotions, and then in the same breath, say that a man shouldn't be over-emotional.
Okay, do you know what emotions are?
Sorry?
Do you know what emotions are? Because there's loads of ways to look at emotion. Emotion can be shown during anger.
Emotions are? You know what? I don't know what emotions are because my heart's cold-hearted.
Listen to what I'm saying. Why do you see this as like some beef thing? Like I'm trying to explain what emotions are.
No, you said to me. You said a great point. You said, "Do you know what emotions are?" Okay, let me
just say this.
Do you know how condescending that sounds? Like it's like me saying to you, "Do you know what a woman is?"
What?
What you said was condescending without you actually being condescending. It's condescending. It's like saying, "Do you know what emotions are?"
Okay, let me get to my point. Let me get to the point. I'll get to my point. My point is this: emotions. It's not just whining and whinging. Men are emotional today. We're very angry. Women are very emotional. They're very angry. A lot of women like to moan a hell of a lot. They get all whingy and whiny. That trait is literally a woman's trait. Everyone knows women like that. We're talking general here. I can't go into specifics and all that. That's long. So overall,
you like that?
Overall, women are emotional and.
Are you like that? Are you like that?
What?
What you just described?
What, whingy and moany?
Yeah.
I've been like that, but overall, no, I'm not. You could ask any of my partners. I'm not a moany type of woman. No. I don't do that. I just don't like it. My mum's moaned in my ear for how many years I ain't in it. So anyway, that was just diverted off my point. My point is that emotions, there's a range of different emotions that we all display. Now, my point of the video, because you're saying I can't say certain things. Well, I'm here to say I can say what I want, and I'm talking about what I'm attracted to.
You can say whatever you like. I'm not saying. No, but I'm saying. I didn't say you can't say what you said. I said you contradicted yourself. Let's just put this in context.
Okay, then. You say that I contradict myself.
You can say whatever you like. It's an app. You can say whatever you like.
I hear what you're saying.
If people pull you up on what you say, then it's the same thing as well. Does it make sense?
Either way, still even listening to what you've had to say. Because I was, like I said to you, I said I'm humble enough to look at it. If people pull me up, I ain't got a problem with that. It's not that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm very sure. But anyway, going on with what I was saying, I don't believe that I contradicted myself. The reason why I don't believe I contradicted myself, because I was speaking for myself for a start. Another thing I said at the beginning of my video, that don't get me wrong, you don't have to bottle up everything. And also I said, when I talk about emotions, I gave a little brief description.
Gift up the place. The place. Go on.
Thank you. So what I said is, I don't mind. For me personally, what I'm attracted to, I don't like whiny, whingy men that sound like women. That was my point to it. But like I said to you, I don't believe I contradicted myself, because I also said that man can do that. But if you're imbalanced, then you have to look at it as a man, like, oh, well, if she said that, I'm not talking about you in person, I'm talking about just men in general. If they hear my video and then all of a sudden feel that they can't moan about anything or release their emotions, then that's on them. Because I said at the beginning of the video that I made that I'm not saying to bottle up everything, or that you're not supposed to feel emotion or express emotion, but I'm talking about overly emotional. Oh, why is everything gonna be about? That's what type of man I'm talking about, that I'm not attracted to. So I don't see where the contradiction is in what I said. If you're talking about polarities and extremes on the extreme end, then that's where your mind's going. That's not me.
You finished? So if you say in one breath, a man can be emotional and show his emotions around a woman, there's nothing wrong with that. And then the man shows his emotions and you're like, oh, you're overly emotional. What you have done is you contradicted yourself, because there's no level to how much emotions.
Disagree.
Stop. One sec. I'm saying there's no level to emotions, how much you can show at that time. Because if a man opens up to a woman and shows his emotions, he's being vulnerable. He's being vulnerable. For a man to be vulnerable, he trusts you. Now, if he trusts you and you break that trust by saying, you're unattractive, you're this and that.
No.
I've already said to men from a long period of time.
You're not making sense. You're not actually making sense of what my video is saying.
Everyone understands me. Everyone understands me. What I'm saying,
not everybody does understand you, brother.
I've said to men a long time ago, and I say this again to every single man out there: do not show emotions to women, because women will automatically think that you're over emotional just by expressing emotions.
No,
you can't tell a man he should not be overly emotional.
That's when not true.
When he stopped from seeing his child, he's been done for false allegations, and he's just lost his job. You're telling him not to be overly emotional. He's going through a lot. He's different to me. I'm different to him. I might be able to go to my prayer mat and go Allahu Akbar and pray 2 rakats, and it's nothing to me. And it's nothing. It's like it's water over the bridge. I can go and read my Quran and it's done. I could go link a couple akis and they'll tell me some hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I'm good. That's me. I'm back to normal. But there's some people that have nobody around them, nothing. And you're telling me those men only have you as a partner, and you're like, it's cringing me because you're just so emotional.
What do you mean,
That is madness, bro. That is madness.
What are you talking about when you say you? Was that personal or was
that? I don't care what you say.
Well, it doesn't matter. Okay, that's your business. I don't care. And go make your video. I won't respond to it. I don't care about videos that you're going to do about what you disagree with me. That's on you. I don't care. I'm still doing me. Like you're doing you. And you're trying to relate what I said to every scenario that a man's ever been in. That's wrong. That's on you to do that. But I still, after speaking to you now, I'm full. I don't agree with you at all. Not at all. But it's not a battle anyway. It's just a difference in opinions. That's fine.
Listen.
But your thing's about man's mental health, so I understand why
there's no rule book. There's no rule book.
It would affect you because you're about man's mental health.
There's no rule book to say that you have to agree or disagree. I've given you how it looks on the man's side.
On your side,
that you're saying to a man, show your emotions. Then when he shows his emotions, you're saying to him, you're overly emotional. That's unattractive.
No,
I've said to men from a long period of time. Listen,
that's what you interpreted it as.
One thing about me is I'm consistent with what I say. So if I say to men, don't show your emotions, I'm not going to turn around and say, show your emotions, because you're the living example why men should not show their emotions to women. You're a living example. Thank you.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Great. Okay. That's fine by me, Dad. I'm not bothered.
So your video was actually beneficial for me to actually prove my point, which is proven already.
Okay, well, you gotta use everything you can to prove your point. Do you know what I mean? Do what you gotta do. If it helps your situation, whatever I've written or whatever I've said on my video, if it supports your argument, then cool. It doesn't bother me. I'm not gonna be out here trying to prove my point of what I don't mean to your various different scenarios with emotional men, or various different types of women there are in the world, or various types of scenarios where men are getting emotional. To me, whatever you're saying, like, I hear what you're saying. You're about man's mental health. That's not my thing. So I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, I don't get the contradiction on my thing. I'm talking about how I feel.
You can't get the contradiction because your mind's not open to receive information.
I do not.
Because you're non-agreeable.
I do not. Sorry, say that again.
You can't get the point of what I'm saying is because you're listening to respond. You're not listening to understand. So, for instance, if
I don't
somebody
agree with you,
you see, you're responding straight away. You're not even taking time to reflect on what I've actually said. So the majority of times, if you generally wanted to comprehend something that somebody said, then the first thing you do is you sit back and you take in. If you clocked one thing, I've let you speak, and I'm kicking back and I'm like, all right, cool. Let me think of what she said and take in what she said. The reason being is because when you listen to people, you get to understand them. It doesn't matter if you agree or disagree, but understanding other human beings and how they think is a strong characteristic of anybody. Now, if a man's telling you, I'm saying to you that you can't say in one breath to show your emotions and in the same breath say you're overly emotional, because it's like to a child saying to a child, why are you crying when the child's crying? A child's crying because they're distressed, whatever that cause is, whether it's fairly or not. So if somebody says to you, if someone says to me, you can show your emotions, nothing wrong with that, and then in the same breath they say, but being over emotional men is unattractive, I'm not going to take the first part. I'm only going to take the second part. Now, my point of what I was trying to say is I've always related information back like this. I've said to men for a long period of time, don't show emotions to a women because women will look at it as a weakness. Now, you have backed up every single thing
I agree. I agree with that. I don't know if you've gone on my page, but I did a video right in the beginning when I started my whole thing. It was on an Andrew Tate thing. And one of my videos, I was letting women know. I said, man can't show their emotions to us. I said, because we're nuts. The Sue, oh, we want you to be vulnerable. We want you to do this. Now, I'm not one of these women that are saying or pleading for my man to be vulnerable. That's the difference here. I'm not one of these that are going, oh, I want you to show your emotions. So I did a video and I said, women, the reason why your man can't show you emotions is because most of you are mash up. I said, so you'll let them be vulnerable and then call them a pussy in the next breath in your next argument. I said, that's why man don't show their emotions.
Is that true, ladies? There's ladies in the chat. Is that true?
To
Ask
me,
the women if it's true. Let's see if all the women agree with what
you're saying. Not all
the
women, not a lot. Hey, yo, don't get twisted. It's not all women. This is a lot of women.
All right, this cup is cute, isn't it? Soulmates.
Yeah. But anyway, like I'm saying,
am I being over emotional by showing this? Am I being over emotional?
Oh, please. Everyone loves a loving guy. That's not
emotional. It's over emotional. By showing this, this nice cup called Soulmates, I'm being over emotional.
Emotions it's a broad term. And when I made my video, I'll just make this point and bounce. When I'm talking about it, me personally, I'm not, and I can't speak for every woman. I don't like whingy men that moan like women, and they are out there. That's a fact. So everyone can take, obviously everyone's different. They're going to listen to it. They're going to take what they want. They're going to take it personal. They're not going to, they're going to, whatever. I'm just somebody, a creator content. I put my thing out and you take what you want from it. I'm not here to try and really overly explain. Apart from this right here, we've got into a dialogue, fine. But what I mean when I say whingy men, because there's men out there that are whingy. They are. I've seen it. And it's unattractive to me. And there's nothing wrong with that as far as I'm concerned.
No, you could listen. Your opinion is your opinion. You can stand on whatever you want. But what I will say is this: you can't say in one breath a man should be able to show his emotions